Well, I finally did it. I went all day yesterday, Sunday, without shooting any video for the vlog. Okay, so this is actually 36 straight days of uploading videos every day. Several comments on yesterday's vlog about scheduling, you know, what the SEC has done in the past, but then the decision to put 2 teams on everybody's schedule this year, how that worked out. You know, I gave you my thoughts on it. Check that out if you haven't seen it, if you're interested. But then you wake up here today on Monday, August the 10th. A lot of people said, boy, if you went to bed and missed all this late night tweeting, you're going to be surprised on Monday morning. Well, that's me. I go to bed early, get up early. So they're saying that the Power 5 conferences are going to cancel football season. There's a couple of links out there from a friend of mine, Ross Dellinger, Sports Illustrated, who does a phenomenal job. You want my opinion, he's the best there is out here at covering college football. And I know there's some other names that may be more recognizable, but I don't think for long. Ross is the best. Great guy, too. And, you know, talking about Power 5s. But I wanted to pass along. Now, I'm going to upload this really early here on Monday morning. Everything could break loose and make you look like an idiot real quick. I don't care. Because once you post it, it's kind of like printing it in a newspaper. It's there. There's no point in going and deleting it. But my thoughts as I sit here and drink my coffee early on Monday morning. It just doesn't make any sense for a league like the Southeastern Conference to follow the lead of other leagues. Now, if they have information that you didn't have, that's different. But what is that information? And given that as recently as Friday, just a couple of days ago, you're adding onto the schedule, they've pushed things back to the end of September for the express purpose of putting a little more time in there to make decisions, for the purpose of seeing what it's like with students coming back to campus for classes, which they are going to do. That's not coming to a halt. And then see how it's going to go after that. That's the reason they pushed everything back to begin with. For the SEC, it would make almost no sense whatsoever. It'd make no logical sense in terms of decision making for that to be the path of, okay, we make a decision to push it back to the end of September. It gives us more time. We set a practice start date. A few days later, we add 2 teams to everybody's schedule. And then 48 hours later, we cancel everything because there are some other leagues that decided they couldn't do it. And, you know, the SEC has plenty of money for testing. That's one thing that is out there, too, over the weekend, is how much it's going to cost. You're talking about, what, over $500,000 throughout this fall just to test your football team every time you're going to have to test them. It's a lot of money. Well, the SEC teams can afford that. I can understand if MAC teams just can't afford what it's going to take to go out here and do the kind of testing it would take to have a safe season. So I'm really confused. I'm really confused. I mean, you've got nothing in the step-by-step decision-making, which the SEC is, with Greg Sankey, has always been very methodical, very measured, and then very intentional, logical when they make decisions. And even if they do wind up canceling the season, it just doesn't make any sense for the SEC to be making that decision right now. It just doesn't make any sense. Wouldn't make any sense. You know, if you get, it's August the 10th. If you were to get students back on campus, and even if you were a couple of days into this practice schedule they're going to allow beginning on the 17th, and some things happen, or there's an outbreak of positives on one campus or 2, that's different. and you make a decision based on that. Philip Marshall, he writes, covers Auburn for 24/7 Sports. Philip's been covering them for a long time, and he's got a few connections. And he wrote a piece, I guess I saw it, that was at some point yesterday where he had a source saying, hey, it wouldn't make any sense for the SEC to do it right now. And there's also this great irony in the Big Ten supposedly ready to jump off the cliff with their season now, and they want everybody else to kind of collectively do it with them. That's the reporting anyway. Whereas way back when the SEC and the ACC wanted all the conferences to hold on together and make a decision about the season together, the Big Ten went ahead of everybody and did their own thing first. So I don't know that that's going to reciprocate this time around. So it's a lot of random thoughts, but what I would just say to you is it doesn't make any sense, number one, for a league like the SEC to follow another league when you have already said we're only going to play a conference schedule. Well, if you're only going to play an in-conference schedule, who cares what anybody else does? You go, well, what about the postseason? Well, who cares about the postseason? What's the chances you play a postseason anyway? The majority of your athletes want to play. You have some who've opted out. You have unity groups who involve some athletes who have concerns, and that's good. That's fine. It's okay to opt out, but the majority of the athletes want to play. Okay, there's no point in them following other leagues. You've got a conference-only schedule. You've pushed your season back to give yourself more time to make a decision. You have time to just wait, move forward with your plan, get students back on campus, and then reevaluate then if you need to. So I don't know. I cannot reconcile the reporting that's going on, good reporters with good sources, versus reality and what makes any sense whatsoever for the timeline of this stuff. Needless to say, today is going to be an interesting day.